Hi friends and welcome to Victor's Reality. Today I have a different video as I was recording the Dell S3220DGF versus the S2721DGF, and I'm trying to show here in this video the color difference as they are set up the same way with the same HDR, brightness, contrast. Everything is the same, showing a 90% of the DCI-P3 color coverage of the S32's Samsung VA panel versus the S27's LG nanotechnology IPS 98% of the DCI-P3 color coverage. So again, they are set up the same. Of course, you can always calibrate it to make them look even better or more defined, but this is just to show stock settings on the same settings on each monitor. But as I was recording the video, as I was trying to get the color settings correct, I noticed something when I was looking at the movie HDR feature that I had enabled for another video, and I'm seeing that it accepts a 4K signal, meaning it shows a 4K signal. I tried this on the Xbox Series S, the X, and PS5, and in all instances it does show a 4K signal, as you can see. Now again, I don't know if this is a glitch, a bug, a misinformation reading of the monitor that the monitor is reading itself, but I just wanted to show you what I did, as I thought this was an HDCP issue. As with the Elgato game capture hardware, you have to disable that in the Xbox and PlayStation in order to be able to record. So I figured maybe the monitor needs that disabled in the system level to be able to display a 4K signal. But I tried it, it did not work. I also tried connecting a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X to the Xbox One X, as that has a HDMI input and output. As in other videos, I have been able to get a 4K Sega Saturn video for the Elgato to capture the game capture in 4K. Of course, it's not in 4K because the Sega Saturn is very limited in what it can display resolution-wise, but the signal comes up as 4K to get the better bitrate. So knowing all that, I figured maybe the system could do the same thing with the PlayStation 5, at least for the meantime until Sony updates with a proper 1440p display option. As we all know, the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 only have a 4K 60 or 1080p 60 or 120. Now with the PlayStation 5, there is no 1440p signal. Sony has said that the more people that ask for it, they will add it in a future update. And as you know, they just recently announced that VRR support is coming to the PlayStation 5 in a future update, updated in their Sony blog series at the PlayStation website. So that's good to know. That looks promising for the 1440p display option. So after all that, I couldn't get nothing to work. So the only option I'm seeing here is I am using an Ori HDMI splitter. So I connected all three monitors to an HDMI splitter, and thinking it wasn't going to work, thinking that the S27 would default to a 1080p signal because 4K wouldn't work, selecting 4K in the S32, automatically the G7 took it, the S32 took it, but the S27, it took about 5 seconds. It flickered like 3 times and it took it. But I wasn't paying attention to the fact that it was actually a 4K signal. I just went ahead recording, not thinking much of it, but when I went into the display info, I see that it's a 4K signal. This might be a Dell issue with the EDID not reading correctly, or it's hardwired and that's just how it is and it can't read it, but there's a way to trick it or glitch it by it flickering. Because other times when I tried connecting 4K, it wouldn't do it. It just would flicker, it would black out once, and then it would just say this resolution is incompatible, like on the Xbox and on the PlayStation. 1080p is the only thing that shows because there is no 1440p option. So the monitor can't read 4K, at least not this revision. It cannot read 4K. It can only read a 1440p from the Xbox, which is direct, beautiful signal that works perfectly, or a 1080p on the PlayStation 5 because it does not have a direct 1440p display option. So having said all that, the only way for me to get 4K to work is through the HDMI splitter. I've tried that on all three systems. This video right here is in 4K on the S32 on the left and the S27 on the right. I was really looking to show the colors here, the DCI-P3 color coverage, and showing you the differences of how much color and the color vibrancy this LG Nano on the S27 really provides compared to the S32's great VA panel, but with a lower color coverage of 90%. And you can see that the 98% does have so much vibrance that in some ways the contrast ratio difference to someone's eye is diminished because that color vibrance is just so popish. It's really a beautiful panel. And the more I see it, it's the more like I describe SDR versus HDR. The S32 looks like someone drew the picture with a crayon, which is powerhouse, vibrant, colorful, wow, because of the immersion, of course, of the 32 inches. But the S27 does have a colored pencil look, like if someone drew the picture with colored pencils. Everything is much more defined, everything is much more outlined, not sharpness, but it's more detailed in the sense that things are popping off the screen because the lines are clearer. Now again, it is smaller, so it's going to be clearer. The pixel density is better on the 27, but I'm just telling you my observation. They're both awesome panels, but currently right now, the S32 from an input standpoint is the winner because it can accept a 4K signal, and the images are a lot clearer on the S32 than the S27 in the case of a PlayStation 5. I would say they are about the same on the Xbox, but it's the PlayStation 5 or media streamers that a 4K signal is needed and handy if you want a dual purpose monitor. And unfortunately, the S27 cannot read a 4K signal and the PlayStation cannot send a 1440p signal. So they're both wrong, they both cancel each other out. If the S27 had a 4K signal acceptance, it'd be the perfect monitor all around. Also, the PlayStation 5 would be a lot better if it did have a 1440p option, because many of you out there, not necessarily these monitors, but with other monitors, you would be able to get that clearer image at a 1440p, not counting 120 Hz. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on a future video. I'll see you guys next time.